In this video, I'm going to talk about how to build a business that works without you. Hey business builders, my name's Christopher Huntley from teachingrevolution.com, where we help you sell the knowledge you already have to people who need it. This is something that I've heard from so many people. They say they want something that brings them in money passively. They'll say that they want to make money while they sleep, or they'll say they want to have a business that just works without their involvement. And you may have had those ideas too. So in this video, I'm going to share how you can do that. And you might be surprised by the very last step in the whole process, because it's something that most people completely miss. And I think it's going to be really valuable. So make sure you stick around. Now, before we jump in, hit that like and subscribe button down below, because I've got a lot more to share. And I've been sharing it not only in these YouTube videos, but also on calls with our community and in these books that I've written. So I have this book, No Bull, Just Broccoli, which was my first book on marketing and business after doing this for many years. And I decided to put it all into this book. Now, this is more of a, you can see how long it is, 300 something pages, 360 something pages. And it's quite a read. It has a lot of information in it. And if you've never met me before, then that might be the best place to start. But I've also got this new book coming very soon called 10K Club. And that shows you the easiest way to 10K months, weeks, and days without switching models and without hiring employees, without working long hours, or without having any expensive tech. And so if you like what you see in these videos, check out the books. On our website, teachingrevolution.com, you can find more information. But in today's video, we're talking about how to build a business that works without you. And the first step in this whole process is kind of just a mindset shift of what does that really mean to have a business that works without you, right? Because a lot of people think they're just going to set up a business in a certain way. There's some magic process out there or some steps that they can take that will just make it happen overnight. And they think that having a business that works without you doesn't require first having a business that just works, period, right? And that really is the first step. That's usually what I mention to someone when they first come to me with a question like this. Whether that's a representative from one of the big companies that I've worked with, like Coca-Cola or Unilever or Citibank or Philip Morris, or if it's someone who is just starting a personal brand or they're working in a niche market. A lot of people have this idea that it should work without them. And there's so many automations available today. AI has completely revolutionized what you can do yourself. There are lots of easy programs and platforms and tools that you can use to automate pretty much everything in your business. The problem is that you don't need all of that stuff when you're starting. So when you're first setting up a new project, or when you're launching a new initiative, or when you're just offering your first product or service, you sometimes can get stuck because you're focusing so much on automation and making it work without you. There are some pieces that you can put into play immediately from the beginning, and that's fine. But if you try to over-automate what's happening in your business before you even have a business, before you even have any customers or clients, then it's just gonna make it take a lot longer for you, and you're just gonna get stuck in a lot more places, because you're going to be figuring out how that's going to work, right? Once you've done it a couple times, then you can start with more of that stuff. But in the beginning, if you're just launching and pre-launch, you don't have to worry about all of the automations so much. In fact, it can be a hindrance to you. It can be a barrier for you to just get things going. And so before you have a business that works for you, you need to have a business that works. And what that means is you need to get in there and do it. And I'm going to give you basically 3 stages that I see people move through when they're trying to get to the final result of having a business that works for them, right? Like that's what I've been able to do in my businesses. And when you can see in my businesses that in the offers, the products, the programs that we have, where it's a new launch or it was just recently created, then I have a lot more involvement there. But after some time, they take on a life of their own, where other people are doing most of the activities and I might not even be involved at all. So I started with a business that taught English to people who needed to learn the English language, right? for work, for studies, for whatever. What we did was, in the beginning, I started doing it all myself. But then I started slowly transitioning that to other people. And now I don't have to teach. I don't have to do any of the day-to-day work there because of how it was set up. And not just how it was set up, but because of how it was executed along the way. And so that's what I'm going to share with you. So the first stage of this is really to build, right? And maybe that's where you are now. Maybe that's what you finished and you think that it should automatically work. When you build, it's all about you. You have so much involvement in the process, right? You have your hands on everything. You personally are very invested in seeing it through to the launch and beyond. When you're building, you don't want to focus so much on automating every single step. Instead, you want to leave the places where you can add automation, but you need to just get things rolling. As they say, ship it. You just need to get it out. And that means that you actually want to have some more involvement in the next stage after you've built it and launched it. You need to have some involvement, not just because the automations aren't there or because the system doesn't work how you want it to work yet. That's just a way for you to get started faster. The reason you really want to have involvement there is because you're getting very valuable feedback from your first customers and clients, the first people who come in, the first people who have contact with this thing that you've built. And it allows you to make very quick iterations or changes or alterations. You can change things very quickly to respond to the feedback that you get from people actually using what you've built. And that's so valuable because that is going to guide you in where the automations actually need to be. You might be automating things that nobody cares about, that don't really save any time. It just looks cool that you can automate that. And a lot of people get stuck in that trap. So that's what you want to avoid. You want to avoid over automating from the beginning, and you only want to focus on automating the things that are going to be valuable to the people using it, or they're going to just save a tremendous amount of time. And when you save time, obviously, you'll save a lot more money and expenses too. Once someone has built and launched and they're still involved, then this stage is where you are faking it till you make it, is one way to put it. I wouldn't put it that way. I would put it that you are manually pushing the machine, right? So you've built the machine and someone still has to do some activities to make it work, to make everything function properly. In that stage, you're still fairly heavily involved. Usually this is a transition stage. So you start by being very involved in almost everything that's happening, and then slowly those things get automated out and they get delegated out, and some of them just get removed or eliminated completely. And once you've done that, you'll find yourself in a position where you really don't have a lot of involvement in the day-to-day, and you're focusing more on the vision and the long term of the project. So in that stage, that's where a lot of people also will get stuck. In the first stage, people get stuck building and never launching and never putting it out there, and then therefore never getting feedback about what was good or bad so that they can improve it and keep going. In the second stage, people get stuck because they think that they still have to do everything themselves. So they get into the situation, it's launched, they built it, it's launched, and now they're there and they're doing this manual work, and maybe there's less of it over time, but they're still very heavily involved throughout the entire process, right? It's all about them. They might even describe it using terms like, it's my baby. And you don't want to have that mindset. This is a business. It's here to make you money. It's not a child. Children are not for making you money, right? So these are very different things. It's something that I've heard from so many people saying that their business is their baby. And I think it's actually a negative mindset to have, even though people feel like that's a positive. So when someone says that, to me, that's a red flag. It's a warning sign. And people get stuck at this stage because of that reason. They think that it's all about them. They think that what people are actually buying is them, and that all the value is connected to them. And so they're never able to separate that. They're never able to separate the value that gets delivered from the agent delivering it, who happens to be them. And because they're the face of the brand at the same time, then they associate those things. But you can get out of that. a few months ago, I created something called the escape plan for a bunch of my clients who are having this problem. And I showed them how you can basically sell a little bit of your time up front and then transition that into a passive workspace or a passive community format where the value is now being delivered in this private space. So people who have access to the private space get the value from the private space. And in the beginning, when you first set that up, maybe part of that space is calls that are announced that happen with you, or posts that you create in that group sharing value, or other resources that you make and you distribute to this group of customers or clients. That's fine, but at some point you need to slowly back out of that. You need to step back and allow the value to happen in that space. That's how you're going to separate yourself from the value delivered. And then it easily allows you to introduce another person, an assistant, a coach that's on your team, or someone else, some kind of expert who can also deliver value or also use the resources that you've created to deliver value to this customer or client community. And that is where the gold is, because that's where you have a business that actually works for you, right? Or works without you. Because now it's not you that they're buying. When they come in, they're not expecting that they're going to get all of your attention or that they are going to get everything that you have to offer, all of your time. And you really have to protect your time when you're growing your business to bigger stages and to higher levels. Your time is the really most valuable asset that you have. You have to protect it from people who think that they should get everything when that's not what you can do, right? And so really at the end of the day, it's your job to protect that. If you're making the wrong promises to people and they expect that you're just going to spend 24/7 working on their thing, that's your responsibility to uphold the promises that you've made. But you can always make a different promise when you're selling, a promise that protects your time. And so delivering something up front that gets people in and then working with them in a passive way, this is really what you want to be doing. And so that's what people usually mean when they say they want to create a business that works without them. They're saying that they want the people they sell to passively get value from them and actively get value from other people. And that the value is not tied up directly in the creator's involvement. You can create these passive spaces very, very easily. We do it all the time. And if you'd like more help with this process or setting up or growing the business that you have, maybe it's automating it. Maybe it's delegating more. Maybe it's just an underlying system issue where some of the choices that were made when setting this up and selling it backed you into a corner. I've seen that a lot. So if you need help with any of those things, I've been doing this for a long time. I can help. So there's a link under this video. You can go over to our website and check it out. You can also jump on the wait list for our 10K Club community, which is coming very soon. And it's going to be so revolutionary. Even for Teaching Revolution, it's going to be so revolutionary because you're going to have direct help implementing the system in the book, which is the easiest system. It's the absolute easiest way to make 10K a month, a week, or a day. And you don't have to switch models. You can use this system to go from zero, and then without changing the structure of what you're building, you can take that to 10K a day. And that's why this is a completely revolutionary system that we've put into this book and this club, and we carry that over to the community where we help you implement it. So the link is under this video. Click the link while you're down there. Click subscribe so you get more videos like this. And if this was useful, let me know in the comments. I'm going to be going back through my videos that I've posted and looking at the ones that people truly felt were valuable. And so if this video brought you value, leave a comment under this video and let me know that so we keep this video up. So that's how you build a business that works without you. First, you build a business that works. Second, you get involved, you get feedback. And then you transition things over to a passive space where you can deliver value to your customers and clients without your direct involvement. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.